Hello friends, I'm Dr. Neeraj, your teacher, and today I'm going to deliver a lecture on a very important topic, and that is information systems in terms of its economy. Every organization definitely uses information technology for its growth, for its decision-making sciences, and for betterment of its futuristic analysis and forecasting. But definitely, this is one more a very important economic aspect for every organization, that whatsoever they are investing, whatsoever they are going to make an expenditure in terms of installation and managing information system with their organization, is it feasible? Can they afford this, or they are simply uh, making the services possibly available in the organization and later they fizzle out, or they create some mess up in terms of costing? So definitely we will be having this detail within my lecture, that what exactly happens when you talk about information technology and its economy. And here we are starting with some slides. You can see simply here that information system and its basic aspect in terms of economic relations. In this lecture, if I have tried, like, should a compute company or should an organization basically go for this option? Uh, Possibly yes, or possibly no. Look, there are a few aspects. We cannot simply deny that it's economic aspect or it's a very costly aspect we should not do. But when an organization runs around for 10 to 15 years or 5 to 10 years, I must say, they 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 capture a situation, or they capture status when they can think about investing their money in terms of making available the IT resources within the organization. How do they do this possible? How do they make it available for their employees? And how does this turns into a kind of a parameter for their capital budgeting? As you can simply see here, we will be first talking about the part which is more important, that is cost and the uh, benefits from information system. The cost, the very first thing is how much you make expenditure in terms of making your organization available with the information system, and what may be the benefits after that, later when you analyze that after a year or half a year or quarter of the year. Then simply we will be studying the financial assessment of that information system. Financial assessment means the return of investment, the benefits gained through that. Then combined assessment of information system. The combined means the financial plus the IT resources which are available. Are they working together? Are they bridging the gap in between, or they're working separately? Then last one is the software and hardware acquisition. What may be the best part? Should we develop our own infrastructure? Should we develop our own hardware and software platforms? We must buy it, or we should rent it from outside. That may be also a feasible answer if you're not going to invest a huge amount over this information system infrastructure in your organization. Next thing comes is the economic aspect. At the very first stage, when you're thinking about entering into this kind of experiment of information system with your organization, then definitely this is the very first stage you qualify the budget aspect, and it is very primarily stage when you uh, do it in the production stage, information system production stage. When you're going to produce the system, you must have a clear picture about the investment part. Second part is the cost benefit, cost and its benefit. Cost benefit analysis has to be done in terms of as a component, or in terms of assessment to judge its feasibility in terms of your organization appraisal for that. The very first thing is the cost benefit analysis, and the second thing which we simply find to achieve is the quantitative and qualitative aspects within them. The cost benefit analysis has two different directions. The very first is tangible cost and its benefits, and intangible costs and benefits. In this lecture, we will be definitely highlighting the issues related to the tangible cost involvement and tangible benefits, intangible costs involved and intangible benefits. Definitely, in terms of this quantitative analysis, we have to go for the capital budgeting first. What exactly is the size of the return in terms of assessment of its feasibility? Like how many years or how much time it will take to be returned and what would be the size of that investment which we gain as a ROI, return on investment. This you must be very much comfortable, as you are also the student of financial and accounting subjects. Then definitely we have another thing, like the whatever would be the whatever are the prospective goals, or whatever are the goals of the organization, they have to be balanced first. The balance scorecard of the goals to be achieved, and portfolio risk control part. This must not be a risky investment. You must not put yourself under the situation of a risk when your organization is running a separate way, and your expenditure in terms of information system are running a separate way. It is a very popular saying in word, like ERP is not affordable by all the organization in all over the world. They can only be afforded by the organization those who have already spent a very good time, a leisure time in this field or in this industry. So once they find themselves in a very good peculiar stage of profit earning, with a very good huge earning in terms of revenues, then only they think about going for ERP kind of solutions or information system kind of environment with the organization. Let's talk about this, like the tangible costs. What may be the tangible costs? Direct investments. The very first is direct investment in terms of software and hardware. Software you have to purchase, the intangible part basically I must say, and the hardware is basically you have to purchase. Definitely, as we talked before, that it should be rented out, it should be purchased, or it should be your own, or whatever decision you take. But it is one-time decision. Every organization has to take. It's very, very infant stage of starting this particular environment in your organization. Then second one is the employment. Employees training. You have an environment which was manual. Now you are going to make this environment which is 100% automated. So definitely you have to train your human resources. You have to train your force into that particular environment, which makes it possible to run those equipments, to run those softwares, to run that particular organization. So definitely the training part. You have to outsource the people. You have to outsource the agencies, those who train the people on that particular platform, which matches with the industry, which matches with the industry requirement, and which matches with your profile. So definitely this is the second tangible cost which you have to bear with. Next one is the total cost of ownership. Total cost of ownership involves what? The software cost, the hardware cost, the training cost of the employees, and one more thing that is there, the operating cost of information system. This is recurring. This cost remains recurring expenditure on all software licenses, labor cost of staff, IT staff you have to procure or hire, or to maintain, or information system maintenance. This is one more cost which is recurring, which is coming every month, every week, every day, I must say. Overhead expenses, overhead facilities, expenses of communications carried out by the computer networking, parking itself, right? Then we move ahead. This is a loss of money. Yes, sometimes this happens. For a novice organization, those who are not very much comfortable with information system technologies, most of them do not fall immediately into a profit state. Sometimes they meet with a state which is which gives them losses, or it may be a possibility they find some losses in their rate. So what happens is the failure kind. The information system which they implemented suddenly comes under the losses, and this is not that much successful. If they find, they definitely find later on the system is not running in profits. So the cost of operation of the main business is separate, and the cost of information technology equipments, running software, employees run separate. So if you mix both of these, this goes sometimes higher in terms of the failure of the organization, in terms of information system and keeping system environment available there. So definitely, so this may be a situation which is definitely tangible cost, which may say. And another part is the intangible cost. Intangible cost, as you know, is a very, very a very, very popular term in terms of the accounting things. Intangible costs are the costs which are not visible, but they occur. So effort put in learning new information system and associated processes is an intangible cost. I was involved in somewhere production. I was involved in somewhere keeping inventory. I was involved somewhere in other issues of very important issues of the organization. Suddenly information system comes in my organization, and I have to learn how to run it. I have to be punctual about its situation. So definitely what will I do? I will be not that much be interested in my regular job, but I would be interested. I would have to take my interest in that information technology side first. that is basically the lacking part, and this is basically the learning part. I have to work in between somewhere. So effort which I put somewhere, learning IT support or information system only, which separates me, which does not keep me busy in my regular business, then definitely it's an effort which is intangibly creating some cost to the organization. Then employees loss of work motivation due to new processes. Every day if you involve some new techniques, every day if you involve some new systems, then definitely the regularity of his working, of employees working lacks. He loses his interest. He does not feel himself motivated. So this may be an intangible cost as well, because on one hand you're gripping your environment in terms of technology, but on the second hand you are losing the employee satisfaction, employees motivation, employees and that particular courage towards working in that particular task which was given before. The employees resistance to new processes. Most of the employees do this. In case if the organization is running for last 20 years, you will find few workers, those who have been there for last 10 to 12 years or 15 years. So they start losing their interest. They don't want to learn basically. They are not very much interested in learning new techniques, new information systems also. Then we have lower customer satisfaction. Once the employees are busy in making your information system happier, how can they make happy to the customers? So that they remain unsatisfied. The customer starts becoming less satisfied from the organization side. This is also one more intangible cost which you can find out in all of these points. You can find like in everywhere information system is superseding somehow, and the basic work of the organization is coming down. Next one is the limitation in decision making. Yes, when you just start an information system, you come in with a dilemma. The regular or the manual decisions are correct, or now the system which is your system is supporting the decisions, they are correct. So you have to test them. You have to justify between both of them. So this basically prolongs your time. This definitely makes decision making capacity for a small time. I must not say always. If for a small time, this is a hindrance in your decision making part definitely. Then finally, note that the intangible cost may result into the tangible cost. When we talk about the intangible part, definitely we do not involve money. But when it comes to some costs which were never known, and suddenly they have to be there, they have to bear. You have to pay them. That converts into intangible. Suppose suddenly you require a new person, a system administrator immediately. It was never in their books. It was never in the plan book. It was never in the plan book to have some system administrator immediately within the organizational structure, but you have to hire him. So suddenly this intangible cost converts into tangible. You have to hire him, you have to pay him regularly. Now the tangible benefits. There are some benefits which basically for me, we install this, we go for this. Savings of time count, savings of labor expenses. Saving of labor expenses means as you employ more machines, you do not appoint more labor. You do not employ a few more human resources to work upon or to work with. They are not required. Basically, the machine is now handling the situations. The machine is effortful for the production. Now machines are more involved in the organizational functioning or the functional part or the operational parts. So this is the first saving, which is tangible, which you can see because tangible savings are releasing less money or benefits. Tangible benefits are definitely the revenue generation part or the profit parts. Then second part is the saving due to the reduced process time. Manual processes are always long. They always have a length, but the automated processes are always simple or they are always small. So they consume less time. So third one is the savings due to the avoiding the more employees when improved processes. It can carry a larger volume of operations. Yes. More work with less equipment is possible, but for more work you need more people. That is the tendency, that is the thing which definitely gives a huge benefit in terms of tangible benefits to you. Then definitely we can go ahead, the revenue increases due to the processes, they are improved. As you improve the processes, they start resulting into the good revenue generation or profit generation. So this is what basically we have in this tangible benefits continue here, and we can find a financial return associated with the processes, like good capital budgeting start taking place. You are having all your outputs, every activity, every event from the lowest department, the transactional TPS department. You are receiving every detail ready for the middle management, and it is their responsibility to immediately match it and to make a decision over this. So financial returns associated with the process immediately start booming up. They start coming up. Then the improved management control, cutting losses. You stop gaining losses now. But this always starts later, not immediately. First, you start occurring some losses, I must say. Then better decision making, as I told you before, as time passes, you find yourself in the capacity to make strong decisions, or to have the continued decisions, or the very correct decisions to make your things very much clear. Then it is the data error reduction. Data is being processed by the machine, not by human being. So the chance of error is zero. Chances of error are zero. You can always be updated with your current database with 100% accuracy. That when 100% accurate decisions are there, then definite databases are there, the 100% decisions will take place. There is no chance of having any kind of losses due to the lack of wrong record, or due to anything else. Then finally, we have intangible benefits. Customers value that does not translate direct into the material for a company. Customer is outsider or insider, whosoever it is, but definitely now they are satisfied in terms of quality. They are now satisfied in terms of performance of the services, after sales services, in terms of brand management. Every that thing, whichever is being controlled by the machine, is making satisfy your customer. Then further, we have the better control and decision making. Your decisions are on the basis of a think tank, on the basis of artificial intelligence, on the basis of the think tanks. They are supporting you in somewhere in backend, which does not translate readily into earning terms. They are not immediately converts into the revenue. We don't know, but definitely it's an intangible benefit. Next, improvement in the appearance of reports. Yes, now your report start looking very good, very shiny, very accurate. And then we have increased knowledge capacity from lowest to topmost. Everyone, departmental heads or departmental workers, everyone is now accurate with the knowledge. The information is flowing within the internet. The information is flowing within the computer environment. The information is flowing within the information system environment. Everyone is, whosoever is wanting any information, they can collect from anywhere. There are multiple resources always open. You go and just pick up them. So what exactly happens here? The financial assessment of economic information system-based economy becomes like, first you were earning losses, as you can see in this graph. First you were earning losses, and few times they started simply meeting with the break-even point. But as they stop meeting with the break-even point, they start earning profits, and they rapidly go up. As they rapidly go up. So definitely it's not a process of losses. It is not always a process of loss. It is always going to return in a size focus. Various ratios of how many in relation of its cost benefit, cost ratios, they start improving itself. And the higher the ratio, the more economically viable value for information system. Like the ratios, as the ratios goes higher, you immediately come to know like what exactly has happened. And as you come to know immediately what exactly is happening, you will find yourself in a situation here. Your ratios have improved, and definitely information system has made them improved. And present value of money used, definitely this present value is always that value which is a bigger return than the future value. So you can have this always in your platform or in the criteria that information system made expenses are never the losses. You can always go with the information system economic side, and you can always have a feasible information system environment within your organization. So this is for the day today. Take care. Bye-bye.